William J. Duley, executioner, survivor, and controversial legacy. On December 26, 1862, Captain William J. Duley swung the axe that cut the rope of the gallows, simultaneously ending the lives of 38 Dakota men for their roles in the U.S. Dakota War of 1862. Duley, who at the time believed his entire family had been killed by the Dakota, joined the team of men who erected those gallows and was assigned as the executioner. In a letter to a newspaper editor written July 27, 1885, Duley stated that he supervised the gallows and that he was known to be the person who cut the rope and launched the 38 demons into eternity. William J. Duley was born in Ripley County, Indiana on March 30, 1819. He married his wife, Laura Terry, in 1848, and the two of them moved to Winona County, Minnesota in 1856, shortly after their children drowned in the Mississippi River. Duley had a farm and sawmill, and in 1857 became a Republican delegate at the State Constitutional Convention in 1857. 4 years later, he and his family moved to Lake Chetek, a remote settlement in far southwest Minnesota. On August 20, 1862, 2 days after a faction of the Dakota people launched a violent attack on the settlers and agents living at the Lower Sioux Agency, the residents of the Lake Chetek settlement were violently attacked by 25 to 30 Sisseton warriors and women, led by Chief Lean Bear of the Sleepy Eye Band, set out on killing and capturing as many whites as possible. During the attack, which lasted several hours, the settlers took cover in a slough, where many of them were either killed or captured. As a result of the attack, 15 settlers were killed, while 3 women and 8 children were taken captive. 21 settlers escaped to safety in the prairie. William J. Duley was among them. Although Duley escaped with his life, he was shot twice in the left arm, an injury he said had at times left his arm paralyzed and useless. Additionally, 3 of Duley's children, Willie, Belle, and Franklin, were killed, and his wife Laura was taken captive along with his son Jefferson and his daughter Emma. It had been reported that Duley acted bravely during the attack, defending himself and his neighbors, killing the chief Lean Bear in the combat. However, according to historian Harper M. Workman, Everett Hatch and Mrs. Cook say Duley was a coward, that he was running when they entered the slough and never stopped. On the other hand, Duley's son Jefferson later defended his father, saying he fought until there was no use continuing. In either case, Duley volunteered to join the army shortly after escaping the attack with his life. After the hanging, Duley joined the punitive expedition led by General Henry H. Sibley against the Dakota in 1863 and 1864. Duley learned that his wife and 2 children survived the attack on December 30, 1862, when he received a letter from Laura. The Lake Chetek captives had been freed the previous month by the Dakota Fools soldiers, but not before many of them endured deplorable conditions, including rape. In the 1870s, Duley, Laura, and his 2 remaining children moved to Alabama, where William worked as a millwright. According to reports, Laura was quite unwell in the aftermath of her captivity and was said to have never smiled again. William J. Duley and his family suffered greatly at the hands of the Dakota during the U.S. Dakota War of 1862. He did not seem to have any regrets for his role in the largest mass execution in United States history. Toward the end of his life, he pleaded for and received a pension for his volunteer service during and after the war. The axe he swung that heinous day was sent to the Barnum's American Museum in New York, where it was lost to a fire in 1865. In 1885, Duley sought to cement his legacy with a book, telling a newspaper editor, "My wife and myself have a historical sketch of the deeds and depredations of the Sioux outbreak, which would make a book of about 100 pages, which would contain nothing but solid facts." Duley died at age 79 on March 5, 1898, and is buried at Artendale Cemetery in Gig Harbor, Pierce County, Washington, USA. What, if anything, is William J. Duley's legacy?